Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and I'm going to make a garden on a chair that you can put on a balcony, a patio, a deck. All you need is a cheap old chair, one of those white ones that they sell sometimes for as little as $5, and if you see one in the trash, grab it, because usually all it needs is a paint job, and set it up and make yourself a garden that you don't even have to bend down the service. It is up there for you to take care of. So enjoy the video on how I set up the chair on the deck that anybody can set up. So I started cleaning up the deck, and now I've got that spot. I thought, what can I do with that spot? Look at this. This is no joke. See, here's the camera. You think I don't have any broccoli here, but we're in the middle of trying to grow broccoli up here, okay? So don't steal my video from me all the time. So anyways, so I find this spot and I think, well, what can I do with this spot, which has a nest on top, and she's sitting, as you can probably see. So I'm going to be bothering her a little bit, and I figured I know what to do. I don't have a chair set up, so I'm going to move this, some seedlings I'm working on. Let me just get it on the ground. Hopefully Kitty won't eat it. Yeah, I'll get you something soon, and I'm going to use this chair. No, don't you eat that. I'm going to get this chair, and I'm going to make myself a really cute garden on a chair. Just a dirty old chair that's been on the deck. We're going to put it here. We're going to set it up really good. Keep it away from the, let's see, keep it away from the sliding door, the wonderful screen door that the dogs tore up. Well, they made holes, so I patched it. And we're going to set ourselves up a chair garden. And I did find, grab this, I had a black tote, so it's a white chair right now with a black tote. I'm going to set this all up and have a garden. And the thing is, there's a couple different ways I could do this. This handle already has got a little crack on it. I think I'm going to take my soldering iron and take it off. It will give me an extra inch to push. You know, it may not give me an extra inch. It'll give me a little bit to push back. The other thing I could do, because it sticks out, but it doesn't stick out that much, only a couple inches. The other thing I could do is simply make a couple holes and tie it. Extra security. I don't have to, because the weight, once it's full of soil, I could put a pot on the back, because you know how I layer, it's not going to go anywhere. But if I wanted to, just for extra security, I could do it. Now I'm wondering if maybe I won't take it off, because, you know, I will gain a little bit. See back there? But I'll only gain about 1/4 of an inch. I don't know if it's even worth it for that much. Maybe I should just leave it the way it is. Now this, see this? This is a handle. I will definitely be making holes in that, including that one, if I do not take it off. The reason is, this can hold water, and that small amount of water, you could end up with mosquito larvae. So if you make a hole or two, water gets in there, it'll just drain out, and they cannot lay their eggs. Just an extra point. So let's get this set up and see if I'm going to take the handle off or not. I think what I'm going to do on this one is just take this piece off that hangs over it, because it's not going to go anywhere else as far as pushing it back because of the way the chair is. No, I think I'm going to have to use my soldering. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'll just twist it off. You know, I think I can. I don't even have to use my soldering iron for that. See if we can just twist it. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I don't even need the soldering iron. It would be easier with the soldering iron. I don't think it's hot enough yet. Nope, it's not hot enough yet. I just plugged it in. Oh, I got it. Look at that. Now what I am going to do, take off a little bit more. Remember, we're going to make the holes on the handle because it will be exposed water if it rains, if you accidentally are watering. Okay, now I should be able to push it right up, and it will have a little bit extra space on the back. So let's, you know what, let me back up. Let's turn it around and see now. Oh yeah, now it's nice and flush. I like that. So you can't really go back anymore. Even if I took the whole handle off, because of the back of the chair, it slopes. It's not going to do much. So I'm going to make a hole here, and I'm going to put a little piece of wire just so it doesn't shift. And then we're going to make the holes in that handle so we don't end up with mosquitoes. Let's see if my soldering iron is hot yet. Oh yeah, see? Just going to make some holes here. I will never end up with standing water there. You don't want standing water. It's fine when you're making your plant food because you're using it every 3 days. Still takes 2 or 3 days, but this would be extra work to go around and see if there's any mosquitoes. So now there will be no standing water. Now the other thing here is I'm going, actually, yeah, it doesn't matter which way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to wire the back. So I'm going to put some holes here. That'll work, and I can just wire the back. I'll leave the soldering iron on for a minute because I have one more thing I have to do. I'm just going to go through those holes I just made. And I'm just going to decide on the chairs. There's just a little extra, so it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere anyways, but I might as well. See, this way if I bump it, it's not going to ever go anywhere. Let me see if I can turn it around. You can see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you can see. I'm just going to tie it right here. Just a little extra, just twisting the wire around. Just a little bit of thin wire. It's just going to hold it extra. It's like, you know, it's no big deal. You don't really need it. I don't really need it, but I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, now let's get the rest done. Make sure it's standing where I want it to stand. Make sure all the legs are on the deck. I don't want it sticking out that far either. Yeah, I think that's good. The doors can go back and forth. It's not going to go anywhere. Let's see if you can see it. Yes, now there's one more thing we're going to do, and then we can unplug the soldering iron. I made this is a floral pot. You can use any planter pot. See what I did? I went to a party, and they had a cake that was tiered up, and these were holding the cake up, and they went to throw it away, and I said, no, I want them. So I made holes in the pot and holes in the cake stand. And then I wired it, see? So now when the pot sits on the deck, it's not sitting flat. You don't want anything flat on wood. Cement, dirt, soil, that's fine. A lawn, that's fine. But on wood, if you have no air contact, you know, it's just contact plastic to wood, you'll end up, well, your wood will start to decompose what it's supposed to do, and it will start composting. But with a stand, you have an airflow, and the water can drip, and it will dry. So that's what's going to go here. So now I've got a pot there, but the thing is I need drainage. You need drainage in every single container. All containers need drainage. If somebody tells you you don't need drainage, well, you do risk losing your plants, because if it gets too wet and rots, you've lost your plants. So we're going to make holes, a good amount of holes, right where it's going to run into my flower pot. And I want to make sure this thing doesn't clog up in any way, because I don't want it to rot. I'm making holes. I'm making them a little bit bigger, so they'll drain good, because sometimes they can get blocked. I used to use a lot of native soil, and I messed up. Because native soil here is clay, and then it would cake up, and then I'd have to almost take some of them apart. But with this, I don't have to worry about it. I don't put the native soil on the bottom. If I want to use some native soil, I put it somewhere else. We are now ready to start setting this up. Now we're just setting it up. It doesn't take long at all. It's just 1, 2, 3. On the bottom, I have learned from experience, do not put clay, native soil that is like a clay. It will cake up your holes. So on the bottom, you can put a lot of different things. You can put a little bit of toilet paper rolls if you've got. This will flatten down and hold some water in it. And space for, let's say, earthworms or microbes or whatever they need to hide in. Then I put in all kinds of stuff from the garden. See, I did clippings, and I may want to break them a little smaller, but they're going to break down. What I will do later to see if I can get a little bit of native soil. All I have to do is move a flower pot that's been sitting on the ground somewhere, just sit it on top, and there'll be earthworms in it. They'll just go straight into it. So I'm doing that. You can mix it up a little bit. And remember, this is going to work its way down. So that's what you have to remember. It will work its way down. Look, I've got collared seeds, and I've been trimming in the garden. If you do not have that, you could go with straight potting soil. Whatever you want. And can you use weeds? This is sow thistle. Yes, you can use weeds. Put your weeds on the bottom so they won't grow. I'm not worried about the weeds here. A lot of them are dried up already. If they're dry, it won't matter. Do not use mint as far as adding into your totes, because mint will grow. So you don't want mint. And you don't want anything like Bermuda grass, anything that's really invasive with runners. Otherwise, everything else is perfectly fine. And if you're not sure, then don't use it. This is colored leaves and kale leaves, and yeah, they're all dry and green and yellow. Whatever you've got. Let's see what else. I might put a few more. I've been collecting toilet paper rolls. Put a little bit of that. I might put some shredded paper, a little bit. This is all going to disappear. More stuff that I've picked up around, on top here on the deck. This is going to save you money too, especially if you want to use a really good potting soil. It can get very pricey. So by using this, adding all this in, it's going to break down and be great. This is just some soil out of another pot. See, it's started to break down. Came from something else I had a plant in. I figured we'll just add that in. Up some stuff and just let's add in. I don't want to put yarn in here. Let's move the yarn. Okay, so we got that in there. Got that in there. So we got all this stuff, and it's going to compact down. So don't worry about it. Even if you got a piece of wood, push it to the side. That's going to break down. Remember, wood was a tree, and that will all break down. So we've got that. I might add a little bit more greens. Just because. No big deal. Why? Just because. Let's see what else. I want to use really the less soil, the better. Soil went up recently. So I bought some potting soil and it went up, but I could use broken down wood chips. But I'm basically trying to use what you're probably going to find, which would be some native soil, which I've already thrown in because it was in another pot. Leaves from whatever. It can even be your flowers. If you've got a flower garden, you got plants around, trim leaves, and just keep it in a bucket, and then you can go back and use it later. Look at that. We're pretty good on that. Now, the good stuff. Ooh, let's see, that's a big onion. I think I'll skip that right now. Just do this. Yuck! I know who's upset, the hummingbird. I left this out here, and it created a lot of fruit flies, and she's been eating. Oh, even maggots. Look at that. You know what? It doesn't matter. I left it outside and it's been out here for days, and they're going to break everything down. They're going to disappear because once you put the potting soil in or anything else, they'll turn into whatever. The birds will get them and then they'll disappear. They'll be gone. Let's see if I have any more soil. More soil from another pot. Oh, this has got earthworms in it. Can you see that? This is just some soil I had sitting. I think you can see that. So I don't even have to go look for earthworms. This was just sitting and there's nothing in it. And it's created its own little environment already. There must have been something in it that they wanted. Might put the whole thing. There must have been a plant in it at one point. Which is perfect. Now, truthfully, with all this stuff in here, I would not have to add anything more, but maybe a little bit more soil on the top. Again, look at the earthworms in there. Don't worry about the maggots. They're going to disappear. I don't even think the way I buried them now, they'll even hatch. But let them do their things. The earthworms are going to go in there. Now, if I wanted to, on the cheap side, I could go back and collect native soil and put that on top. But I am going to use potting soil. And there's nothing wrong with buying some potting soil. Okay, I'm back. what happened was, this is some old potting soil. It started to dry out, so I freshened it up by adding some water to it. And it got heavy, really heavy. Look at this. Is this beautiful? Don't throw old potting soil away if it dries out. Put a couple cups of water in there, close it back up, and then go back and check it. If you need to, add more. You don't throw soil away. I've heard some people say they throw it away. You don't throw it away. I think that's pretty much it. Now, I could decide what I want to plant in there. I'm not quite sure yet, but I've got a few things still sitting in pots, so I might do that. Now, as far as the pot that I'm going to put underneath, I'm just going to throw some more compost I've got. I've got some onion off of a onion, and I've got eggshells. It's a small pot, so when I say small, it's not that wide. Some of these things were not cut down. They were cut to go into a tote. See? So we're going to load this up. Take a lot of the small pieces. Don't worry if you have some big ones, they'll break down. This is just beautiful. This is the way I've been doing all my containers that you see on the driveway and even on the deck. Been doing them all the same way, and the plants just grow. Now what I'm going to do is top it with potting soil. And then again, I can start watering it right away. Even if you weren't going to plant in it right away and you weren't sure what you're going to do, you must, I shouldn't say must, but you should be treating it as if there's a plant in there. Because you saw that there are earthworms in some of the soil, even though I didn't know, and they would die if it was dry. So you water whatever you're setting up. So when you're getting ready to set something up, treat it as if there's a plant in there. Whether there's a plant in there or not. Because any microbes, anything that's in there, will not live if it dries out. And then you gotta start all over. You know how nice that is? Now I'm just gonna top it with potting soil and put it on the ground. And put in the stuff I just brought around. I got green leaves, I got brown leaves. That's gonna be a good pot to put on top. And with the leaves on the bottom and the branches, perfect drainage. You won't have to worry if it's draining good or not. It's gonna drain really good. That's it. I can decide when I'm going to plant. If I want to add more, let me back you up a little bit so you'll see what I'm going to do. Now that pot is going to go here. Stand it up. That pot's going to go here, and when it gets watered, it's going to water that pot. That's it. It's completely ready. And this is a good layering pot. It's small. I can put something really cool in it. I can fill that with just potting soil if I want, and then put whatever I want in there and plant all around. I think I'm going to do sage, and I've got some basil I started. I would like to sprinkle a bunch of lettuce seeds in there. Maybe some parsley. I don't think I want to do a tomato right here, but I want to do a lot of stuff I can grab for a salad or pizza that I make or whatever. We'll see. I could, you could do anything with this. You can grow a squash, but squash gets so big that the leaves will shade out anything underneath. That's why I think I'm going to leave it with smaller things right now. And then you can change it up anytime you want. And the potting soil got so wet and the bag was left open. Oh my gosh. I was going to show you that. I started to scoop it out. Look at the size of the earthworm. I left the potting soil open right here on the deck, and it got into the potting soil. It's just a cheap potting soil too, this one. So you're going in here. I think that's so cool. I was just pulling it out, and I saw that there's earthworms in my potting soil. So if you got it out in the garden, you can leave it open, and the earthworms will find your potting soil. That's what I'm saying. Earthworms find the spot they want to go in. So I'm back with all kinds of things to put in here. Little things that I can add in as they go along. I'm going to put some rubber gloves on so I don't get all kinds of soil all over me, even though it's no big deal. And let's see, I've got something very special here. Very, very special. Now this, let's move this over, is sprouting broccoli. It's one of the cuttings that I did off the plant. I had a few I put in a pot to sprout. So we're going to get off all the dead stuff. And, oh, look, there's even seeds. But we're going to take that off because we want the plant to grow. We're going to trim it down. I'll trim it all the way back here. And that's a nice piece there. I think we'll just trim that all down. Compost that. And now I should be able to grow sprouting broccoli on the deck for you-know-who. Kitty, my little Yorkie. So we got that. Now this had a little something in it, but some lettuce seeds fell in it. These are all lettuce, so we're going to put that in here. And I think I'm going to put a celery up there so I can move it out because it gets so big. Let's see what I've got. Oh, I have parsley here too. This is going to be really cool. Let's see, so I'm going to plant, this is a red celery. I'm going to trim off all these bottom leaves. We're going to get the red celery. I'm going to put it in the pot though. It may send its roots out of the pot through the bottom, and that's okay. But I think that would be a really good plant. Actually, I wanted to center it. Not for any particular reason, just I want it more centered. We'll put it in like that. Push it in pretty good. Keep this simple. It's right up against the house. And I can move it if I want later. Okay, so we got red celery there. This is parsley. We're going to trim off. I have a bucket here. I'm throwing the leaves in. And maybe I'll put the parsley right here. Parsley's good. I love parsley. You can put all kinds of stuff in here. This is like the focal point. Let's move this over. If this grows, it's going to get big, but that would be, you know, whose favorite. So we're going to put the broccoli here. Really take care of that. That'll be really cool. And this I'm going to take out of the cup. It's just lettuce. Put that down there. Push the leaf underneath the soil. And I think I'll put the lettuce right here for now. I'm not even going to separate them. Just going to leave them, see what happens. Now this, oh, let me get this out too. I'm going to take this out of the pot. Let me move the pot. I could layer it, but I would love to see this get big. This is dill. And dill's in the, let's see, a nice spot there. Oh, okay, let's try not to kill it. This is it's a few different dills. That's cool. Wonder if I can separate it. I'm actually going to separate it. I didn't know there was more than one dill in there. All right. Because here's the issue sometimes when you have more than one, I'm thinking, and I'm going to use this term as a hormone, but I don't know if that's the correct term. They give something off and they don't get big, the plants. So you'll end up with a whole bunch of plants that look really little because they're kind of fighting each other. I'll put one here. So I want them to have space because I'm hoping the dill will take off. I'm going to sprinkle on the top all kinds of seeds. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and you know what? Let me see. Do I want to put sage in here? No, but I want to put basil. And I might put the basil there. This has been growing in my kitchen window. And I grew this from seed. And I think this is oregano. I'm going to put the oregano that I must have put a stem in there and it took off. So being that they'll root, I'm going to put it like that. But this I'm going to put here. And this, I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to take that out because I don't know where that is. I am going to just put this right like that. Beautiful basil. Basil, you know, that completely disappears in the fall. I tried to keep it alive. You cannot. It's an annual. Let's see. I don't know what that is. And that's it. So now I'll have sprouting broccoli. We've got some dill. I'm going to sprinkle more seeds so whatever grows, grows. And now this is lettuce. Now, I don't know how much the birds have gotten. I am just going to go to town and just water it in and hope that some of these seeds are still good. I'm laying around the garden. And see, look at this. Now the birds go through there and they really pick the seeds out. They love sow thistle and they love my romaine lettuce seeds. But we're going to see if some of these will come up, and I'm sure they will. see, even if it's just a few. Now, if I wanted to, I could have covered the lettuce once it was pollinated, not before. After the bees did their thing and they started to develop seeds, I could have covered it with Tulle, Tulle. Then I would have gotten all the seeds, because the birds can't get through the Tulle. They'll sit on it, they'll look upset. Uh-oh, what did I do with my dill? Oh no, there it is. Forgot the little one was there. There's the lettuce. We'll see what happens if any of these are good. In fact, I might just leave the bunches there in the corner and just water them in case there's anything there. That's it. For now, that's it. I can add anything else I want to it. A good watering. Let me do a good watering. I don't want to put tomatoes in here. I don't want to put cantaloupe or watermelon in here. I want to plant watermelon a different place. But the lettuce, it doesn't get a whole lot of sun here. So I'm hoping some of these will be okay here. It will get some sun. The sun is kind of dropped over now for summer. So it should be okay. You can change it up as it goes. And I think I'll sprinkle some extra dill in here. See if we can get some more dill going, because I want to make a lot of pickles. But this is going to be the one that Kitty's really going to want. And hopefully that will do good here, because I just transplanted it out of another area that it was growing just to start it. We'll see. Maybe some of these lettuce seeds will grow. They don't even have to be buried. They'll push their way in. I think I buried my other part of my oregano, but you know what? If it's really oregano, it'll comes back from the roots. I'll push that in like that too. They'll set root everywhere. If not, I'm going to do a cutting off my oregano and get some more oregano going. That's it. Now we're done. I still have the bottom pot to do, but we'll figure out later what I want to do there. So that was it, and that's how easy it is. So if you see a chair, grab it, get yourself a tote, and get yourself a garden on a chair. I love my chair gardens, the easiest thing to set up. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.